Welcome to City on a Hill Gaming, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. We hope you enjoy our episode. Welcome back to City on a Hill Gaming. I am your, not game master, just, hi, I'm the guy talking right now. I'm Ryan. Hi. How is everyone? Welcome back to City on a Hill Gaming. So we are streaming live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/City on a Hill Gaming. Come say hi. If you're hearing this live, say hi in chat. We will say hi back. If you make suggestions for what we're doing tonight, we will read them and see what we can do to incorporate them. We are going to be making a 5th edition, give or take, class for our Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. We're going to make it from scratch. We have 0 plans. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. So, hi chat. How are you? Hi. And let me introduce all the folks here with us this evening. I will click on your piece. Phages? Phage the Untouchables. Hold up your copies of Phage the Untouchable, please. Don't cast it. You will lose the game. So I will click on your face. I will say your name, say hi, wave to the nice people, and then we will make a thing. Ben, say hello to the nice people.
Hi, nice people.
That is Ben. Cameron.
Hello and good luck. How's everyone doing?
Good luck, have fries. Daniel.
Yay, Schmeelode.
Hello. Grant.
Work.
Work. Grant.
Construct more pylons.
Gregory.
Hello, internet people.
It's a mustache and it's twirly and I love it. Ginny, say hi.
Hello.
There she is. All right, and now I'll probably click freeform and we'll just minimize faces. And hey, look, it's a Word doc. Okay, so I made 0 actual plans for this, and I think that's probably best because now we're just going to do weird things, and I'm excited about it. So I want to make a class for our podcast, and I don't care about anything else as long as it fits our podcast. Go.
Sorry, I'm gonna be that guy too. Can we have access to the doc?
Actually,
us, so that we can look at stuff that's there without having the stream open.
Hi, folks. You can now see my email address. Email me at feltip@gmail.com, the email I've had since my sophomore year of high school. Hi, I'm a hipster who had a Gmail back when you had to have an invite.
Oh, yeah. I remember our CS class fighting each other.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes for Gmail invites. It was hilariously high school.
I have a friend Daniel will know well. His name is Dustin. He said, I can get you an invite to Gmail. And I'm like, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
That's how long ago this was. Okay, so you guys should have a link now to the Google Doc. Chad, if you happen to copy that link, then I guess you also have.
I have sent an email asking for access.
Okay.
I have requested access.
What do you guys want to make? Is there something in particular you've always wanted to see in a Dungeons and Dragons class that you haven't gotten to see before that fits us?
Kind of.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Grant, ask your question.
No. Go ahead.
All right. So, I thought of this when I was like a freshman in college, and I'm totally willing for this idea to get shot down. But the idea that I had was someone who's really good at like making traps or like improvised traps, but just like a demolitions expert.
Interesting.
Basically.
Yeah. So that runs into an interesting issue, and I've run into this as well with other character concepts across multiple editions of D&D. The issue is there a resource cost for traps?
Oh, sort of like component cost or whatever?
Yeah.
How does the Artificer work with that, right? Because isn't that part of...
Artificer can make minor magical items. There's a bunch of stuff that it can do. But it's just that question of how expensive is it? Is there time? That sort of thing. I've always run into this with poisons, right? I've always wanted to make like a poisoner in D&D.
I see.
And it's like, well, there are poison rules, but they're kind of designed for everybody to get access to poison by spending money. So if you're making a class based on that,
then what's the resource cost?
Right.
Right.
Now, what you could do is kind of borrow from the monk and have like a points system that you spend.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Now the problem with this is, does this tie into the shepherd idea? Is that what we're doing here, or is this something completely different?
This is completely different.
Completely different. Okay. Then yeah. So you could very well have just daily or encounter points that you spend on things, which I think works fine, but there's a lot to think about. Okay, what do I have access to? Do I have like certain things that I'm doing? What's the base trap look like? That sort of thing, right? Poisoner ran into the same problem of like, okay, well, am I just spending like poison dice at this point? And then it's like, well, okay, this is just kind of a rogue class where the sneak attack can be dropped in drinks,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Does 5e have an alchemist?
There's an alchemist sort of in the artificer.
Okay. Because that would be the other thing I would think. It would be some kind of alchemist who can do something similar.
Yeah, the artificer is its own very weird and specific thing.
Yeah, and like I said, this idea is years old, so
it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's
I
like a
the idea.
solid 15-ish years old. So like I am positive that better ideas have been kicking around since then.
Question with a trap-based character though, like how would that work in like an active combat situation? Do they just have traps hanging off them that they throw out, or are they crafting
like a
traps?
Deployable bear trap.
Sort of
Have any of y'all played Greedfall?
Greedfall, no.
Okay,
No.
so if you've played like Dragon Age, it's kind of similar to that idea, except it's like loosely piratey. But one of the major features that you can do is just like the deploy combat traps, which essentially work because the enemy AI is too stupid to walk around them and will do like straight line paths.
I mean,
the thing that comes to mind, them into your traps.
Oh yeah, the thing that comes to mind to me is the Diablo 2 trap assassin, or the Torchlight 2 character class whose name I cannot even remember.
Oh yeah,
that had just deployable turrets, right?
Well, it makes me just think of Torbjorn from Overwatch.
Yeah,
where you're just tossing down the little pew pew buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like
Torbjorn and Corvo from Dishonored.
And brand new unreleased character from Valorant named Killjoy.
By the way, Jenny, I'm going to have to pick your brain about Dishonored, because turns out Chrissy's writing some stuff that is very Dishonored-y. We're going to have to talk about it.
Has anyone played a game called Here Be Monsters?
I feel like I've heard of that.
An old online game. Somebody in chat, the enthusiast, I cannot say his name correctly, David, asked if anyone had played that one. I'm not familiar with it. That might be a tie in there. I like the idea of a trap maker.
I
think there's really something interesting there.
Yeah, I mean the kind of one of the things I thought of. It was kind of like a two-part thing. Like part of me was like, I wonder if there's a good like D&D equivalent of like the Ghostbusters traps that they just like slide out in the middle of everything and then hit a thing and something happens.
Okay.
The other idea is trying to solve some of the issues of like, if you're just going to be the guy at the back of the group hucking bottles of like alchemist fire.
Yeah.
Because at some point you're going to botch a roll and you're going to hit somebody and everyone's going to be mad at you. So
here's the other unfortunate thing. There's not a lot that distinguishes a trap specialist from a very good wizard.
Oh.
I feel like you could say that about a lot of classes, though.
I mean, that's true. But, any wizard that has the grease spell is already just a ridiculously good controller.
There's a grease spell?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as good as it was in 3rd edition, but it's still quite good in 5th.
By good, you mean broken. Because
I mean, extraordinarily broken. Insanely broken.
In 3rd edition, it was broken.
Oh, yeah. So, you know how nobody has ranks in athletics or acrobatics if you are, say, a heavy armor user?
Sure. Oh.
Guess what's required to stay on your feet?
Oh, no.
And stand up.
You just got to stab them in the shins.
No, they literally just lie there and don't move because they cannot stand up.
That's fantastic. Slick grease covers the ground in a 10-foot square centered on a point within range and turns it into difficult terrain for the duration. When it appears, each creature standing in the area must make a dexterity saving throw or fall prone.
It's no longer flammable, which...
Oh, I can see
Yeah,
where
that's
that
the
would
other
be
piece
an
of it.
issue.
Oh, but they never made it like conductive, right? So you couldn't use a lightning bolt to make it greased lightning.
Yep, it's Daniel.
Yay.
Good to know. We're back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. The time has come. The
Do you want to hear how the alchemist works with the artificer to see how that works into it with the trap?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it.
Okay. With the alchemist, you make experimental elixirs. The amount you make a day is based upon your level. You can start at third level. At third level, you get 1. There is a D6 chart. So when you make your elixir, you roll the D6, and it's which elixir you get. Healing, swiftness, resilience, boldness, flight, transformation. So that could work with spells. That could work with traps. Sorry. You wouldn't have just unlimited traps, but like you would make your trap at the beginning of the day, maybe off a similar style chart or a selection of possible traps. Kind of like how Druid or Cleric picks their spells of the day, you would pick your traps, and then you would just have that trap. And maybe something similar with like a really good rogue that can disarm it and keep it. So maybe even get a bit more reuse out of it.
Okay, so let's go with some options here. So let's if this is the route we're going to go, because these we don't have to go too in depth with each one. We can just work a foundation.
Yeah.
Give me a name. What are we calling our trap maker?
Trappy McTrapperston called it.
Okay, that's a start.
Trapper John?
I mean, I feel like the name
I was
is the
gonna
least
say
im-
Trapper John. Man,
Let's set aside the name for right now. Like, let's just go with Trapper, and we'll
Okay, fair enough.
workshop that later.
More of the flavor, I feel like the name will come more easily. Rather than having flavor derived from a name, which might sound cool, but mechanically...
Yeah.
Reasonable. Okay, so do we want these traps, while she pokes around with that, do we want this to be alchemical? Do we want this to be clockwork? Do we want this to be...
So I would say I would like mechanical, simply
Okay.
because I think it differentiates it from the artificer.
I agree.
Okay.
Because the alchemist can just make alchemical things. That's not to say that traps can't have alchemical components where it's like, oh yeah, this sprays, the effect of like the web spell around somewhere because it's got, Spidey, Spider-Man web slinger.
it's
fluid
filled
in it.
with spiders.
Also good. I mean, don't
Also
get me wrong.
interesting.
A ball full of spiders is a great trap.
We're not doing that. That's a huge no.
Okay.
With the moose.
Hey, there
Box
she is.
of rocks and zombies. Okay.
Perfect.
No, seriously. Real quick.
Yeah.
One of the best traps that I have ever seen in a module is one that is in the module that I'm running for our group that includes Jenny. It's a low-level dungeon, designed kind of as an intro thing, and one of the traps is literally you walk in and 2 zombies who have been positioned above the door with a box of rocks drop the box of rocks on you.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yes. That is
Because
that is well written.
zombies aren't going anywhere. They can stand there all day and all night.
Wow.
And they're just holding the box of rocks, and somebody walks in and they go, "Whoop," bam.
Swamp. It's like
Yo!
it's like a Minecraft thing. Okay,
I
Jen-
just had the dumbest idea,
okay.
Love it.
and I think it
I'm
might
ready.
work. So what if? Okay, and if this goes like way too off the rails for what this class needs to be, that's fine. But what if it was all about bees?
I like it.
So like, hear me out. I was just thinking about how do sticky bombs work in a late medieval, early Renaissance system. Like how do they stick to stuff? Because glue might not be readily available because you have to kill a horse to do that. But what if
Sure.
instead of horse killing, it was just honey? And so what if you're a beekeeper
Okay.
and you make like bee bombs?
Steve
Okay,
Owens.
so actually that's kind of an interesting thing. Are we making a class or a subclass here?
Okay, reasonable question. I prefer class.
Okay.
Class is my preference.
Okay.
This
because
sounds
that
like a
involves reinvent-
subclass.
Yeah, because I was thinking a insect-focused subclass of the druid could be very interesting, or the ranger.
I think
Ranger needs more. Ranger needs
love.
more.
the
Ranger
Ranger does
absolutely
need love.
needs love.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
but-
agree.
But yeah, anyway.
Okay. So go with me on this journey. We do a full class, but we don't do that full class until after we've made a ranger subclass. And we just make this a ranger subclass because Trapper feels like a ranger subclass, frankly.
Because a trapper actually, I think, works very well as a ranger subclass, kind of like a scout. Where
okay, so real quick, we make a ranger subclass because why not? Because Jenny said the word bees and everyone freaked out, so we're gonna go here now.
Let's separate this from the swarm keeper.
That is already a thing.
Oh,
So, ladies and gentlemen, introduced to D&D Beyond's playtest content. This is an Unearthed Arcana class called Swarm Keeper.
So step one, we just pretend we never saw that.
Right. So I'm gonna close this tab real quick.
Okay. One thing that I see that differentiates it.
This is somewhat.
I hadn't heard of it.
What is that?
I'm playing one. That's why I know. Guillermo is part Swarm Keeper Ranger.
The big thing is that the Swarm Keeper is, fey spirits, I guess.
Yeah.
And this really is more about one of the things you happen to do is control bees. Probably not with magic. Probably with
smoke, pheromones, and
Yes.
luck and patience.
Yeah, you literally just
And
have a
luck.
leather bag full of bees. Let's just be clear. You have a bag of bees.
Yes.
and luck. I thank you for including that, Jenny.
I like this idea because I still posit that the first BioShock game was very good, but I stopped being scared the instant you can shoot bees from your hand because nothing is scary after that.
No, that's true. Okay, Jenny, what were the four things you said now? Said just now?
The last one was patience, and
Okay.
before that was luck,
Okay.
and I don't remember the first.
Smoke and
Smoke?
pheromones.
Yeah,
Smoke
smoke and
and
pheromones.
I can't spell pheromones, so apologies to chat on that one. And oh, hey, it's not wrong. Awesome.
You spell it in the traditional manner.
And
That's
then
all
you
I
have
got.
somebody else, because there's like 5 people editing this document, and we can all correct your spelling afterward. That's fine.
Yeah.
Chat won't even notice. That's how delays work, right? On Twitch.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So interesting question in chat. Does a trapper have a bonus to roll against existing traps?
Ooh.
I
Or
think you
for
give them
new
like an
traps?
increased perception.
I think that's
you could
like a
give 'em-
perception, a situational
Yeah.
perception bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, so
or,
first
or,
off,
or better passive perception, because I think that's how it works with something.
investigation. So here's the thing. There's
Okay.
perception to notice some traps, and then investigation is if you are searching to see if there are traps.
Okay, I would treat this more as a passive perception to me be more adept to, hey, I think that's trapped, not to actively look for them.
Mhm.
Because
I mean-
to me, a trapper is going to know when there are other traps.
So it's more of like a training of like I would put a trap here in this situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go for it.
All right. What's one of the iconic cinematic moments involving traps? The moment when somebody sees it about to trigger and
Okay.
yells something, right? So what if
Oh.
your trapper has a bonus, to save against traps,
Okay.
or they can give that up to save someone else within, or to give that bonus, that advantage on dex saves or whatever, to someone else next to them or within 10 feet.
Hey, watch out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
okay. No, I like it.
I'm going to grab you and pull you back away from it, right? Whatever flavor you want it to be.
And then snatch your sweet fedora out from under the thing as it closes down.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Is that a requirement for the class? Is it light armor, medium armor, and fedoras?
It is now.
And whips are whips are a
need
required
to-
class item.
I need
It's a
to look
finesse
up.
one, right?
I need to look up beekeeper outfits for a second.
Also, I need to know the name
Medium
for
armor,
that
I'd
as a
say, for
profession.
beekeepers, yeah.
What'd you say, Ryan?
What is the name for a beekeeper? That process.
I used to know this.
Apiaryism. AP something.
I knew apiary is the name of a beehive that you make.
Hold on. What's the
And then
Apiary. Apiary.
Apiary is like the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Apiarist is, I believe, the beekeeper.
Google or Grammarly don't seem to be upset at my spelling, so we're gonna pretend that's right.
Sadly, I only remember that from the Minecraft Bees mod.
Oh,
So-
We got
right.
two things: bees and
Same.
bombs. By bombs, I mean traps.
Bees mobs. Bees, which are now a part of Minecraft in non-mod format now, which is
Yes,
lovely.
but they don't have massive genetics coded
No.
in.
Oh, I remember that mod. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for taking me back to that one, Grant. Oh man, that was
You're welcome.
that was like Pokemon breeding. Oh,
Oh yeah,
it was atrocious. Yeah, that
It was
a good time.
tedious.
Yeah.
He also then tried to make a trees mod that was similar.
Really?
People
I
actually
never saw
made
that one.
add-on mods that would let you just accumulate massive amounts of genetic material and automate the whole process.
Sure. I mean, it's Minecraft. That's sort of 90% of the process.
And that isn't that at that point you're just Monsanto.
Okay, so
If you play right, yeah.
So let's look at some ranger specific things. So I don't know that favored enemy makes a lot of sense here. What is favorite
enemy?
What does favorite enemy become here?
Favorite
Could you
allies?
switch that to
Bees.
Bears.
just
Battlestar Galactica.
9 out of 10.
Oh,
okay.
bother.
No bother. Oh, is this a Winnie the Pooh subclass?
would just permanent advantage on disarming traps be too much?
Actually, can I suggest that we keep the favorite enemy,
Okay.
but as one of the class features, your traps have an extra advantage against your favorite enemy.
I like that.
Oh, okay.
Because you're making these
Specifically-
traps to trap particular things.
So bonus to. So does that mean the traps have let's say the traps have a save DC, and then if it's a favorite enemy, they have disadvantage?
Yeah, that makes sense. As
Yeah,
like,
I like
as
that.
a starting point.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
just as a starting point. We can workshop it.
favorite
Like-
enemy.
Like trying to
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
look
Catch a
at
rabbit
ideas
in a
on
bear trap?
paper, and then we can actually
favorite
like,
enemy has
work out specifics.
disadvantage against your traps, and yes, disadvantage. Well, Ryan's upset because he hasn't. Oh, has
It'll
he?
let
Okay.
you know if it's misspelled.
Well,
You're good.
it'll also let me know if my grammar is bad because I have Grammarly turned on.
Well,
excellent.
it might, but it's not exactly the same thing because it's not like you're using full sentences.
That's true. If I was, it wouldn't be as angry right now.
In the
Okay, no, I
Indiana
like that.
Jones theme, the favorite enemy of Nazis. From chat.
Oh,
Nice.
It's a good reference.
The Indiana Jones
Yep.
theme. Yes, that's accurate. Okay, so what does Natural Explorer become?
Okay,
multiple of us
so-
can type in the document at once. That's nifty.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Why we can all do things.
Love it. Okay, so
I
you
use
did
it all
I
the
just
time for
made
gaming.
I just
Like-
made the best pun in there, and none of y'all are laughing.
Okay, hit me with it again.
Did the picture upload in
Yes.
the
Yeah.
document?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this flower?
No.
No.
It's called bee bomb.
Oh. What
This
do?
is not a joke.
Neat.
I mean, it is a joke, but only a little bit.
Okay, that way chat
So
can see
I
it better.
think Natural Explorer can just stay its own thing.
You just
Yeah.
Not-
made okay.
Like,
I don't
you're-
think everything has to. Like these are class features. Like,
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I assume does fighting style need to change?
No, I think that
you
one's all
you
right.
still need to fight somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I think what you could do with the interesting class features is basically put a spell into a trap at
Okay.
some point,
Mhm.
so that your trap triggers and casts that spell.
Yeah, like putting ensnaring strike on a trap.
On an arrow.
Right.
So you put it on a trap instead. Okay. So what things? So let's say because most subclasses get added bonus spells. Okay. Wait. Can you still type when I move down there, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
I didn't even know you were down there.
Okay. Perfect. So what spells are we adding to said subclass?
I mean, I gotta look at the
Uh,
ranger spells.
Yeah,
Good.
they're
We,
like,
if we're adding from anything, I think something like explosive runes would be good.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't
the
think that
problem with
fits the
explosive
beefy.
runes is that's a pretty high level spell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
that's more of
say-
a joke, I guess. I don't really
But
know
it's
how.
also- It's also kind of an arcane effect, whereas I'm kind of
Yeah.
envisioning this as more natural and pragmatic.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for
I
the
guess-
purposes of tonight, let's stick to first and second level spells.
All right, I'm
Just so
gonna
we don't dive
look
too
up.
deep into this.
You'll look up druid list.
And I'm assuming this is an archetype.
I
Well, I
mean,
guess this isn't an archetype.
web is an obvious one that is not on the spell list for
Okay.
rangers by default.
No opposition.
Yeah.
And I think that's a second level spell.
That sounds right.
Okay, we will add web. I like it.
Rangers get some kind of fog cloud, don't they? There's like 6 different kinds of
Goodness,
fog,
yeah.
misty.
They get fog cloud.
They
Yeah.
do get fog
Okay.
cloud. Okay, so we're covered there. Okay,
Oh, what about something like thunder wave? That would
come out
you're
of trap.
basically just making a flashbang.
Possible. We need something. We do. Okay, so we've done all this without having anything particularly bee related. So what?
Right.
What can we do bee related in this section particularly? Maybe something that rangers don't have normally to calm bees, to acquire bees.
Something like animal friendship.
Is that a ranger already?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm looking at a spell list, but it's not giving me like classes that have it.
Rangers already get animal friendship, speak with animals, fog cloud, conjure animals, find saps.
Summon bestial spirit from Unearthed Arcana.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about something like cause fear? Like that, like you can flavor that, then have bees do something as part, like because bees are scary if they swarm you.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't get fear, but probably.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think that
I'm
would be
saying
a cool
like the
effect.
spell cause fear.
Yeah.
Bee flavored cause fear. Okay, I'm not opposed to it.
Like I mean, like again, you kind of have to theme it to be like around bees, but like that type of thing
Yeah.
where
Okay, can we do
where
some
you're-
kind of? What does beast sense do? Is there some kind of thing we could do with beast sense that is bee related?
Beast
Take
sense.
the ST off. Just
Yeah.
B sense.
Bee sense.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see through the swarm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
suggestion from the chat is like bee scouts, where you can like
Yeah.
summon a mob and having them scout for you.
Okay,
Kind of
so
like being able to talk
conjure-
to, yeah, like talk to animals or summon and dismiss them.
Okay, I need this website to show me these in order of level.
They understand like bee dances, right? Clearly, that's how it works.
Right. Yes. There
Can-
we go. Okay.
Okay, can we give them like extra high jumping, and just call the spell the bee's knees?
I'm disappointed
Can't do
in
that.
you. I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
Okay. Is some kind of swarm a companion? Yes, I do like that idea.
I do like, yeah, that's good. That's much better than that awful superhero that was called the Red Bee, who had a single trained bee as his companion.
That's
Huh.
disappointing. That's like a disappointing Ant-Man.
Was it at least the golden bee from Link to the Past?
No, it's just a trained bee.
It's just a trained bee.
Just the trained bee. He just knows what he's doing. That one bee.
Just
Yep.
that one guy. Okay. Okay, so let's look at... Okay, so let's maybe replace primeval awareness with some kind of... So let's just go third level. Some kind... spelling. Some kind of bee, swarm, animal companion, friend.
Yeah, so you'd have it be like the swarm gets bigger as you level up more in this like subclass. So like you could do something, and I kind of was just thinking about this like the cause fear idea, where it's like it has this effect and it does this thing, but then it starts as like 1d4 damage at level 2, and then it goes up to 1d6 at level 5, or et cetera as you grow.
Okay, sure.
In some capacity, like some sort of scaling, like
To grow like
yeah.
monk dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the new like like not strictly like the new psionic subclasses, but like that style of thing.
Well, like quick
We're
attack
using
does.
some-
Quick attack increases
Yeah.
inlay dice.
I have another idea.
Okay.
Could we give the class like resistance to like venoms or poisons? Because I mean, if you get stung a lot, you will either develop an allergy or a tolerance,
Okay.
presumably.
So giving them an allergy would be a bad idea.
Yes.
I mean, look, if you want to, look, there's nothing wrong with building the class the way you want to build the class. It's not my first choice, but I'm not telling you you can't.
Yeah, it just, if you want him to make it to level 3, maybe not.
3. Okay. All right. What else? Okay, so we've got some things added to spellcasting. We have some third level things. We have a lot of bee flavor.
That's
Pretty-
a weird way to put that, but okay.
And we have some suggestions in chat.
And some pretty flowers.
The companion is the queen, and she levels up with a swarm. And I have the
I like
swarm.
that.
Oh, okay.
I do like that. Yeah, that's good.
I'm a fan of the idea of having some kind of bee bin. Okay. Bee queen. Chat, I need 0 Beyonce jokes. Just, I'm putting that out there. I don't have time for that nonsense right now.
Aw.
Okay. I know you guys love nonsense. Okay.
Wouldn't be here without it.
Amen to that, sir. Okay, so my recommendation, as we have actually put a pretty good amount of work into a subclass, that's kind of cool. Hello, Car. Okay, let's name it. Let's name it, and then we will make a. Then we're going to move on to the class.
Okay.
But I
don't-
actually really like this idea.
You could just also just call him like the beekeeper subclass of ranger. Like it does. I don't think it has to be
Yeah.
super fancy.
Yeah, I mean, apiarist will do just fine, I think.
Ranger subclass.
I
Okay.
love the idea of a combat beekeeper.
He just throws swarms like he
that
just.
gif of Oprah with the bees.
Man, I just have to make like a kobold beekeeper, honestly.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's just hit enter repeatedly until we're on a new page. I'm sure there's a smoother way to do this, but it's fine. There we go.
Control enter.
Probably.
I think does that.
That would have made a lot of sense. That was a good call. Okay. Class. Okay, class. Tell me the things.
All right, a whole class.
Whole class of stuff.
Magic or non-magic? I think.
Either.
Okay, guys.
Actually,
What
non.
if
Let's go non.
The class was a beekeeper.
Okay. Okay.
So there is something from 4th edition, as much as people hate it, which was actually very fun and did not make its way into 5th edition, which might be very fun to make for 5th edition. In 4th, it's called a warlord.
I knew that was what you
I
were
was
going to
literally
say.
just thinking that when the stream started.
Uh-huh.
But
You said you.
you know what a good way to do that would be, and to make all you Magic fans happy.
Uh-oh.
Commander.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Now, question.
Hmm.
I like the idea because I multi-classed into Warlord in 4th edition, and I enjoyed 4th edition for what it was. It was a good time, and I multi-classed Warlord. It was cool. Grant,
Yep.
this question mostly to you. What was Trather's fighter subclass? What was that
whatever it
called?
I don't remember.
Wait, let me go look at.
Let me get my book out. Hold on.
Let me go look at fighter subclasses because I don't want to. Were you a?
Battle Master.
You were a battle master.
Yeah. The Battle Master is about as close as you can get to that, but the problem is the it's not really designed to do what the
So I obviously know, but for people in chat that might not know what made the warlord class interesting,
Yeah.
Oh,
Does
sure.
someone want to share?
So it was a charisma-based martial class that was a support class.
Yes.
Technically a leader class is what they called it, because the idea was it controlled the battlefield by enabling other characters and by healing other characters. Most of the people who complained about it were A, not fans of 4th edition, and B, were whining about shouting hands on when, ignoring the part where HP are specifically not hit or not health points, but rather, your general, hey, you're up, right? It's an abstract measurement for a reason. That's why I've stopped describing a lot of hits when I GM as, they connect with you and do some big sickening crunching blow or whatever. It's like, no, it's abstract, right? They're wearing you down. It's whatever.
Okay, so charisma based.
I'm very fond of the warlord.
I am too. And you are correct. Your fighter subclass does not have the Healy bonuses.
It has one healing ability. It does not have a lot of the same stuff that you can.
Because that was a good time. I do kind of miss playing warlord.
I do too.
It was not a primary healer. It wasn't anywhere close to a primary healer.
No, it was a control.
Definitely made things happen.
I honestly made Trather about as close to a warlord as I could have, within the constraints of what else of the other things that he needed to be able to do within his character. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, looking at the battle master, there's the commander's strike, which lets you say, "Hey, you take take an attack."
Correct.
And then there's a rally, which allows you to give somebody temporary hit points, a very small amount of temporary hit points, and then everything else is clever attacks.
Okay.
Whereas the warlord is designed to move people around the battlefield, give them bonuses, heal them, inspire them so that they have advantage, things like that.
Okay. Yes.
It sounds like a mix of like that battle master, kind of like a paladin and like a bard type thing. A
little bit.
The warlord kind of is. Yes.
You dabble.
I just want to make sure I understood, since I never played 4E, so that's
sure
a new thing for me.
It's like bard. It's bard level healing in my mind.
Hang on, I can grab my 4th ed books.
But much more charisma based and much more. It is one of the more hard support classes.
Yep. By the way, my boxed 4E set.
Oh wait, hold on. Let me go back to the camera.
It's lovely.
So the folks can. Yes.
There you go. Boxed 4th edition set right here.
Grant, your camera.
Pre-ordered it and everything.
Your camera actually has gone offline.
Mine has?
Yes.
Yeah, yours.
That's disappointing because.
There we go.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Huh, that's weird. Yeah, boxed 4th edition set here.
Nice.
Pre-ordered it and everything.
All right. If you'll pardon me for just one second, Jennifer made creme brulee, so now I have to correct this.
Oh.
I don't think that's a bad choice at all.
I missed the ASMR. Okay, it's okay.
All right, push that back
Very
in
nice.
there. I
Enjoy
don't
it.
need the other stuff. But oh goodness, it's been a while since I've touched this.
Oh, very nice. Is that Dragonborn?
Dragonborn Warlord, the very first D&D character I ever played.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Also, to make some more fun, a Mouseling Beekeeper.
Very good.
Excellent.
I do like the idea of a mouse.
That's a bold choice because bees are huge.
Yeah.
Compared to a mouseling.
So you can kind of get like an extra cavalier thing going there. Like you can ride the bee.
Oh no. I mean, look, I don't hate the idea.
So I didn't really want to say anything while we were doing the subclass, but there is a druid spell called Giant Insects, where you just make an insect very large.
Okay, chat, hold on, I got you. We'll get there in a second. You said it's just called Giant Insect?
I think so.
It's a druid also.
Oh.
Although I do like the idea of just like
giant insect.
lifting.
Giant insect.
Okay, let's go look at this.
Everybody.
You transform up to 10 centipedes, 3 spiders, 5 wasps, or 1 scorpion within range into giant versions of their natural forms for the duration.
It's pretty great.
A centipede becomes a giant centipede. giant spider, giant wasp, or giant scorpion. Each creature obeys your verbal commands, and in combat, they act on your turn each round.
Does anyone remember that one episode of Futurama where they went to the bee planet?
No?
Don't worry, be happy.
Yep. That was a good episode with giant bees.
Okay, wait, hold on. So let's go put this on the list.
I
Okay, thank you, sir. Because that's going on the list. I'm going to regret it one day, but it's going on the list.
What level it is, but it's there now.
We have a thing in chat. So maybe like a veteran. Think like maybe Iroh Joe from the second GI Joe movies, etc.
I like the idea of commander because I'm a Magic player. And I've literally got a pile of cards sitting in front of me. But that comes with a certain...
veteran to me, is a background that you can take, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And B...
Does it make sense at first level?
Well, no. The bigger thing is, I think for me, the various fighter classes kind of cover everything that's implied by veteran.
Sure.
Whereas if we're creating something that is a commander...
I don't think like that was like the class name suggestion, but think like that archetype.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair.
absolutely. Or a general, right?
Yes, yeah.
But I think
the
archetype, defining it as an archetype of commander, I think works very well.
Mm-hmm.
Works for me. Controls the field, yes. Moves allies, absolutely. Okay, now that's interesting. Moves enemies.
Yeah, there was one. I have to look at the 4th edition. Yeah, Furious Smash. You smash your shield into your enemy, bash them with the weapon's haft, or drive your shoulder into them. You basically just shove them around.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I will say, as someone who is currently in a different game playing a warlock class where you can push people around with Eldritch Blast, it's very fun.
I don't hate it.
It's great.
Repositioning abilities seem good.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Okay, I'm here for it. I like it. Okay, so let's just go down. Let's go down the traditional list.
I have you on Twitter, and I forgot your name. No, they do not.
Oh, yeah, that is Andrew.
Okay, yeah, I have him
Andrew.
on there. Forgot his name, but yeah.
Yes, that is.
So feat wise, there's Shield Master that does let you use to take the attack action on your turn. If you take the attack action on your turn, you can use a bonus action to try to shove a creature within 5 feet with your shield.
Okay, so let's just go down a list. Hit dice. I say it's not D12 or D6. My comfort zone is 8 or 10 for this.
I'd say D8
per level. Okay. So that would be hit points at first level would be 8 plus con mod.
Yeah. Now that we could, if they're going to be more melee, the reason the Warlord had good hit points was it was kind of just a control-y fighter.
Accurate.
If we're talking about somebody who's a little bit more of a controller, they're going to need fewer hit points just because they are not frontline. However, they could be, much like a cleric, they could have heavy armor proficiency.
So I was curious about that. I don't know. I think maybe that's a subclass thing. Is getting into heavy? Maybe heavy. And shields makes sense.
Shields.
Yeah, they gotta have shields.
Weapons, probably all simple martial.
Yeah.
The norm. Oh. Martial. Okay. Tools, I don't actually. Is there something with tools?
I think maybe like land.
Oh yeah. Land vehicles.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so what is that?
So land vehicles, carts and horses and carts and stuff.
Horses, most people
Cartographers'
can
tools.
ride, but things like driving vehicles and keeping them steady, that sort of thing. They would be in a chariot or whatever, being, commandy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would it make sense to have the option to land vehicles or sea vehicles and choose one or the other?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I would say one or the other, but I
Pirate
like
campaigns.
Oh, don't.
No, I like the idea of a pirate as a subclass.
Ben, don't say those words. I need you to not put thoughts in my head. Okay, so charisma.
Listen, there's a whole section of the monster manual that's full of aquatic creatures that every DM wants to rifle through and start pulling out all the good stuff.
He's not wrong. Okay, so charisma and do we want constitution,
Intelligence or wisdom?
strength,
I
dexterity?
think con might be good. I'm gonna see if there's anything that uses charisma and con already.
I
but
think
don't
anything other than dex is a viable thing here.
Sorcerer uses charisma and con, but yeah, I think
So-
charisma and con.
Why not
Con-
intelligence?
Yeah, I don't mind intelligence.
Okay.
I don't mind strength if they have to do like because if they're doing shield bashes to try and shove people around.
Sure. Okay, so let's go choose 2 skills from spelling. Athletics, history, insight, perception.
Perception makes sense.
Oh, I gotta look at the skill list.
I'm only looking at the one because I have fighter open right now, so all I'm seeing is the ones fighter having.
There's one I'm wanting out. Oh, persuasion.
Okay.
Especially if
for
they have
me.
Christmas Day. That makes a lot of sense.
I don't think deception fits.
Not perception. Maybe. Oh, maybe.
Performance?
You know all that.
No, not performance, really.
I don't hate
It's
that
getting
actually.
a
Maybe
little
performance.
bardy.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
I think intimidation makes sense, especially
Yeah, I
if you're if you're trying to do like a morale thing.
Yeah, and that's 6. That's sufficient, I think.
That's probably enough choices. Reasonable. Oh, Google, why you
And
do
again,
that?
first draft.
Sure.
Yeah, this is
No,
all
absolutely.
perfect. Like, nothing set in stone.
Okay, so we have worked all the way through that. Equipment, starting equipment, whatever. Okay, now let's look at first level. Da, 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 da. I guess
Hey,
that
we'll
sound
get
doesn't-
copyright strike. Don't do that.
I have 8 seconds. Also, that's a level up sound in your first level, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. That's okay. Also, I don't know why this is blue all of a sudden. I liked that idea a lot more before I started it. Okay. What first level thing? So for a
It's like
fighter, you would get fighting style and
we're-
second wind.
In general, if we're thinking like what are the things that they could be getting, and then we can look at what those would be leveling, like level wise.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Like,
So-
and that's me, like again, because I don't know anything about
No,
this.
no, that's
Why.
actually the correct way to
So-
design it. Is
So
what
I
are their
get it.
features, and then we
Yeah.
figure out where they go.
Power
so
level
I'm saying,
wise,
yeah,
what fits
like
where.
flavor, what would we want them to do, and then figure out how that would actually lay out into.
You know, I kind of hate to say it, but what about something modeled off the warlock invocations where you have things you can just do at will?
Okay.
Because the warlock is the only class that has this big long list of invocations and boons that you just get.
Okay, so we make those commands and that kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't hate it. I'm just gonna call them commands for now.
Yeah. No, that's great.
And even like another place, I mean, you had already talked about Battle Master, but that idea of those maneuvers too.
Yeah,
Right.
maneuvers was the term I was thinking of.
Well,
too.
again, maneuvers exist in
Right.
5th ed.
yeah,
already.
without
But
Yeah.
along that lines, though.
Yeah.
Tactics?
Yeah, tactics would be part of that. Yeah.
That fit
Okay.
the flavor.
Okay, so give me some base
Okay, so
level
actually,
options.
tactics is a cool idea. So, 3rd edition Warlord was something else completely. It was
Okay.
basically an aura class. Everybody
Oh.
within range got a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
What if the first level ability or a low level ability is something like anyone who can see or hear you within 30 feet gets one particular bonus, and you can switch it on your turn from like one of like 3 bonuses?
So, like, if I'm understanding correctly, it kind of like being able to switch between like a bless kind of bonus or an armor kind of bonus, or
Yeah, like everybody gets +1 to damage, +1 to attack, +1 to AC, +1 to saves. Like
Yeah.
just don't worry about numbers.
40
Just that idea of on my turn, I can kind of look at it and think, okay, guys, this is what we're doing in general.
Now, does
Right.
that become anyone or everyone?
So
I
on
kind
the 4E like wiki, they have it's a choose one feature, and one of them's combat leadership, and it's you and each ally within 10 squares that who you can see and hear gains a +2 power bonus to initiative.
yeah.
So I think you could do something along those lines, and that's kind of what Grant was
Yeah.
hitting on earlier. Like you just have some sort of radius, and there's.
I
Some
like
sort of bonus.
the wording is specifically allies, and then anyone within a radius that you can just kind of.
Yeah. And D&D kind of tends to have like 30 feet as
Sure.
because I do sort of like the idea of it being relatively close to the warlord.
Yeah. I'm wondering if also any, and this may be a later on, like an upper levels thing, but like, any enemies also within that radius get the inverse of the bonus.
Okay.
You
like,
could definitely
anyone-
have a subclass that's kind of cursy.
Enemies.
Yeah, or like what is moralizing for your allies is demoralizing for your enemies, kind of thing.
Yeah, so like that
Yeah.
could be like a level like 4 or 5 thing. Like you gain the ability to impose the opposite.
Yeah, there's certain breakpoints
Yeah.
that are always hit, like
Sure.
6th and 8th, or 10th, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I do actually, Jenny, I like that idea of as a subclass where you are not just good at inspiring your allies, but demoralizing your opponents. You sort of specialize in that.
You're just gonna
Yeah.
trash talk them like Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And it steps a little bit on the bard's toes, but I think in conjunction with the other stuff, it's fine.
It's its own thing when it's
Yeah. I mean, there's always going to be some overlap. It's like going, oh, well, the barbarian steps on the fighter's toes. No, give me a break,
I mean, I hope not. That's how fights start.
Yes.
Also, barbarians are big. That would be painful.
Yes.
We have
Some
a-
barbarians are big.
That's true.
I've had fun before in one shots playing barbarian halflings.
Mhm.
They're fun.
I'm
I mean,
here
that's-
for it.
That's how my wife tends to play her fighters, is very small and very tough.
I
So-
played first Dragon Age. I played a 2-handed weapon dwarf, and my goal was to find everything the weapon would clip through. Plot twist: it was a lot of things.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you're below minimum height.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Stairs were fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Um,
Okay. So what else does first level look like, or does this all that first level looks like?
I kind of have an idea.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We don't get this a lot with 5th edition. When you pick your subclass of whatever it is, for most of them it's 3rd. I want to say Bard is 2nd.
and
And
Druid
then
is
like-
2nd.
Yeah, Druid.
Oh,
Yeah, Druid.
okay.
Yeah, no, but I think Bard's still 3rd. Why not have the subclass at first level like Cleric? Because we don't get that a lot. So it gives it
There's
something.
some design issues with that, actually, where most players who are invested in D&D tend to start at 3rd level, unless they're doing something very specific. First edition is really designed to teach you the very basics, and making a choice at that point is something that is generally frowned upon in design. The other thing is, I feel like there's room for a couple of things that you can do at first level that are still kind of all about it gives the flavor, like this aura thing or something like that. But I like the idea of moving the choice to 2nd level because it's not done enough. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for first level, what about something as simple as maybe like once per combat, you can issue an order and you can give up 5 feet of your move to have an ally move 5 feet. So just kind of like simple command, but like once per combat or something like that, maybe.
I mean, I feel like that's just going to be something where you have a invocation kind of thing where you say, my action this turn is you get to move. Right? Like that would work.
That just becomes one of the ones you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's an idea for the tactics thing. What if instead of swapping constantly, what if at first level, when you roll initiative, you choose from one of those bonuses and it applies to everybody, applies to all of your allies.
And then maybe at later levels you can change it mid-combat.
Yes. Yeah, like
so
as an
I just-
action or something.
I put a thing in the notes. Do you need to prepare or train the options? So yeah, you could have the idea even at at level 1, or at level 1, kind of like tying in with the invocations thing. You have access to this huge list, and then as you get to a higher, but you can only pick 2 of them, and those are the only 2 you could have. And then as you get to like 3rd level, you get another one.
And I think it
level, you get
requires some
another
kind of
one.
action to change.
Right.
Maybe a bonus.
Yeah, like at a higher level, you get to change it. But yeah, when you roll initiative, you get that. You pick one of these general bonuses that applies to your party. And
Based on what I see in front of me, I think we all need a higher initiative. Based on what I see in front of me, I think we all need a higher AC.
Yeah,
Okay,
and these are all
right.
like I would say maybe roughly equivalent to the fighter fighting styles, right? A little bit of a bonus damage, a little bit of an AC bonus, that kind of thing,
Plus
right?
1
Just
to AC,
that, like
plus 2 to attack rolls.
like that. Just describing it as like that tier of bonus.
Okay, no, I like
start
that. I like that. Okay,
And those choices are made by the this player, not the party players, correct?
Right, because there's no
Correct.
mixing it. It's everybody gets this effect because I've decided. All right, guys, phalanx tactics. We're gonna all do that, right?
We all need plus 1 to AC right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, at what point do we start with the Healy?
That's going to be one of the invocation style moves, the commands that you get.
Yeah, that'd be that'd be a separate tactic, right? Like that would.
I like the.
So
I like
just to be clear, we need to work on terminology here.
Agreed.
Tactics, I'm envisioning as just like
As
an
the
aura.
first level thing.
Yeah,
Tactics
and
is
then
the
commands, and then commands as
Okay.
specific things that you say. All right, do this. This happens, and those are your actions, right? It's you have a passive thing that you're doing, and then active class features that say, I'm doing my special thing as my action.
Okay, and we're calling those commands.
For lack of any better words.
Okay,
You'd said
I'm okay with
commands earlier, and
Sure.
that works fine. And I'm going with tactics because auras is a little on the nose.
Agreed.
And that's the paladin thing, right?
Yes.
Also that. Okay, no, I like this. Okay, so tactics, so let's say there's 3.
So +2 to attack rolls.
Plus
Plus
1
2 is probably pretty high.
for
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, I think
Everyone.
plus 1 is pretty reasonable for attack rolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking one person because it's. But yeah, if it's going to everyone, yeah.
Plus 1 to initiative.
Yeah, I like that because it's not a huge boost, but it'll get everybody up just a little bit.
Is this too
Yeah.
much? Is plus 1 to AC a thing?
That's
I think-
might
like
be.
a lot.
It probably is.
Okay, then let me go this route.
Plus 1 to save.
Temporary hit points.
I think
Yeah. Actually, I like +2 temporary hit points.
Yeah.
And I
And-
like
and
plus
that's-
1 to saves. as
I actually
well.
don't hate
That's
plus
what-
1 to saves.
That's what Ben just said. I really like that idea.
It's thinking that everybody is a team and that you're all looking out for each other.
Rose.
Movement
You're kind
might
of like
be.
calling attention to the things.
Movement for
so-
later,
Movement is
possibly?
not going to work because anyone within 30 feet of you, if they are moving away from you, like unless they are moving across the
Oh.
field,
Yeah.
that
Or-
they're going to run out of range.
And remember, it's going to be
Or being
doubled
needed.
if somebody is flying or something like that.
Or if you have a monk
Yeah.
that's 45 feet or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
mind the
that's-
idea of... I think movement, I think at that point then has to become commanding
Movement-
them to move.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Movement
Because there
speed
needs to
should
be a
probably
movement
command
thing. There needs to
Oh,
be
yeah,
a
yeah.
movement thing. But it
No
need-
question.
Yeah.
We'll make it that. Yes, get
Yeah.
over there. Yes, essentially.
It's that or like cover the flank or something like that.
Yeah, something I like that.
Yeah.
For cleanness, I like at first level, I would be all right if there were only 3 options for tactics instead of 4.
Okay, so maybe we add a couple.
Well, actually,
I think
No,
we should have
let-
to choose.
No,
I
like
could be with the-
take 1 away is what I would do because I like the cleanness of just 3.
what if for temporary hit points we did your charisma bonus, and then we
Okay.
just had that because that gives us offense with attack rolls, a sort of generic preparedness / speed bonus with initiative, and then a defensive one with temporary hit points.
Modifier.
Inroads Ministries. We're
Is it
making
weird that only one
basically
of
a
them is based on your
warlord from
stats,
4th
though?
edition.
Also, hello, Mike. Sorry, can I ask your question again, Cameron?
Mike.
If only one of them is based on your stats, is that weird? That
It is a
feels
little
to me.
weird, but the thing is, the +1 to attack rolls is just really good. +1 to initiative is really good. +2 temporary hit points is not amazing.
Unless it was like a ablative or every round. But
yeah,
that
if it's
seems,
restoring every round.
that seems too good for first level.
Oh yeah, no.
It also doesn't seem like anything other than divine. Like that sounds like divine
Yeah.
magic to me, rather than I am just very good at telling people what to do.
I don't, I kind of disagree because people are inspired to, fight on pretty
That's-
regularly.
That's kind of the
Eh.
flavor of second wind for a fighter, right?
It is.
In theory,
They
yes.
take a minute and kind of catch their breath and get back up.
Yeah, but like continually over and over every round.
Oh yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. Yeah,
that
no,
that
it's-
absolutely
like,
is divine.
that sounds. That's the thing that sounds divine to me. Not like the
Okay.
temporary hit points in general, or even just like one regen of hit points. Like that's fine, but like every round sounds cleric-y.
That's
Yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah.
What didn't Ben have?
In fact,
didn't
isn't that
Ben
that
use
is
it? It's
a-
bard thing, isn't it? Didn't
it's a bard or cleric spell because Peter's used
do
that in
what?
our D&D game, Jenny.
when Ben used it in the second campaign? He
Oh, that's right. That's right.
He
In
gave
the
you
last
and
fight, we had
Peter-
Yeah.
he gave you and hit.
He gave you
Peter
guys
hit
regenerative
and that's
points.
actually what I
hit
was
points.
thinking of because we ended up getting like 2 temporary hit points. I'm like,
Every
we're fighting a
round.
dragon. 2 temporary hit points around feels
Yeah, I don't remember what that
I
was.
think that was
you-
based off of. I think
I'm
that was
looking
based.
it up.
That was based off of class level, and he was multi-class. I think.
It was. Hold on. My internet's being slow enough that Beyond is taking forever to load. That's fine.
Yeah, but yes,
Yeah.
I definitely don't think they need to refill. That's just
Yeah.
if my charisma. If I have a 16, you start with 3 extra hit points for this combat. Take those off first, and then go from there.
I agree.
I don't. Yeah, we definitely don't want to take it any further than that. You don't, because you don't want to just pocket heal. This in Overwatch.
So that is a fun subclass kind of thing. Like,
What?
I feel like
It
if you're
would-
doing that, play like a bard or cleric,
I
honestly.
mean,
No, that's
I like
interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was-
so
Okay, so somebody in chat just made a suggestion. I believe that would be David. Memoir reminds fighter of a previous battle, gives you some form of advantage.
Memoir or memento?
so I guess
I'm
the
not
question.
told on the name, but I like the idea of some kind of previous, not just learned battlefield tactics, but previous experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, that was Bard spell heroism.
That was the one.
Thank you. So, I guess the question is that sort of one of the default flavor options here in general, where you just, all this stuff because you've done it all, you've drilled it all, you've been in plenty of fights before, and you know how they work.
Okay.
thank you, Texan.
Because
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love Matt Cawthon as much as anyone else, but this is
Remember
it's a question of whether or not that applies to one particular move, or if that
Okay, sure.
is just sort of a general thing that is just built into the flavor of the class.
That seems like something that would almost belong more in a background than a class.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling like.
Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to that in theory.
it's hard. It is hard when you are starting a class at first level to already have massive amounts of experience. That's a thing that should probably be chosen as a backstory thing rather than part of a class, because then you don't have the choice when choosing this class to, maybe be inexperienced and you're just good with people.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look back at.
Again, and if we're trying to think flavor, like we can just be thinking, like we're just spitballing ideas.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I absolutely
absolutely.
want you guys and chat to keep spitballing ideas.
Like, that's
Tactics
definitely
came
something
from Andrew and chat, and I love the idea of the name.
So I 100% agree with Jenny, but I think that that idea of something like that could make sense like after a certain, like again, once you reach like a certain level threshold, maybe your commands, invocations, you gain access to a growing list. Isn't that how the warlock works?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Is they
So
have
Yeah.
that would be that could be in like the second or third set.
So
Yeah.
it's worth pointing out, there's no reason. I kind of feel like we could go with the warlock invocations known as a rough guideline to start with,
Okay.
because that progression is already sort of proven in a way,
Reasonable.
and B, that gives us at least a guideline to work off of, and then we can be like, well, maybe they needed one more, or maybe they needed one less. Probably
Okay,
not
so
less.
let's
but-
go look at. So that is second level for them, correct?
Right, and then it's
Yeah.
So
second to fourth level, they get 2 known, fifth and sixth 3, and then it's pretty much going up 4s, 7th and 8th, and then after that it's every 3 levels they get 1.
okay, so then my question becomes: do we want to have archetype choice at second level and this at second level? Because I think you want this sooner rather than later, but I don't know that you want both of those at the same level.
It's a fair point.
I like the idea of getting to the archetype sooner. I think that makes a ton of sense because third level, just because I'm a power gamer, I just always want that sooner. If I'm starting at first level, then I get it with most classes.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
but
do
then
like
again-
that idea.
I feel like you probably shouldn't be starting at first level in the vast majority of campaigns.
Okay, fair enough.
Like D&D 5th edition really starts at third level. Levels 1 and 2 are, so let me teach you D&D.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I've
But
honestly, every time I've taught D&D, have also started at third level
level.
because
Yeah,
that's where it
I
gets
started
fun.
my 7-year-old at third level, and she had no problems managing it or a spellcasting class.
Because
Fair
death
enough.
is real at first level.
Accurate.
In fairness, she had no problem managing a party of 4 by herself as they went through Lost Mines of Phandelver. So,
Respect.
yeah, she's scary. I'm going to teach her about tactics games, and she's going to go nuts one of these days.
Accurate. Okay, so what are we calling these?
So
Because-
Commands is as good a word as any for right
again,
now.
like for flavor, commands is. Like,
Okay,
If
so
somebody at some point comes up with a better one, we'll jump right on it.
Absolutely. Okay, so commands start at second level.
Yep.
And okay. Gregory is updating the lay list. Okay, so
Oh,
how,
yes, yes, you like your daughter? I like her too. She's great. Yeah.
agreed. Okay, so how many options are there at second level for a warlock currently?
Warlock gets 2 invocations known. Counting just the ones in the player's handbook, there's 1, 2, 3.
A lot of them are restrictive to certain prerequisites. So
Yeah,
like
so let me look at the ones that don't have any prereqs real quick.
Okay. That works for me.
If it's too loud, let me know, and I will mute my mic.
If anyone's typing is going to be too loud, it's been mine for the entirety time we've been doing this, and I'm just going with it.
My microphone is right above my keyboard.
Yeah, mine is too. It's part of the aesthetic.
So
Yeah,
there's
so if you-
11 that
Yeah.
have absolutely no prerequisites. A lot of
Okay.
the others like require that you have Eldritch Blast. Plenty of the others are then like, oh, you have to be 3rd level, 6th level, 9th level, 15th level, something like that. And then some of the others are there's one each for each of the pact types, right? Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Book, etc.
Okay, so let's say at base you choose 2 from a list
This
of
list of
7.
well, no,
7 to 9.
I'd say make it whatever, because the thing is, I feel like most of these aren't going to be. I mean, we could probably come up with more powerful ones as you go, but
For
we
base level
could
start.
just, there's a bunch that are perfectly fine, like, an ally moves, an ally makes an attack.
Right, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and
Daniel?
I like keeping them reasonably specific
Mhm.
because I think that gives you as a player more ability to find your own utility.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you allow target ally to take a single I don't want
Yeah,
to say
and
melee attack. I don't want to say.
They make an attack action.
Okay,
Well,
now
yeah,
what
but
does
this
that
is
mean for your wizard?
They can use a cantrip.
Okay.
Right, but
because
if these are commands, these are just phrases.
Actually, how about? Do we want to? Yeah, they can with your action use make an attack, and I think that does it, frankly, because I think that does cover cantrips.
yes.
Okay. You allow target ally to use your standard action, presumably, to allow. Okay. Works for me.
So, and for some of those, like, if someone else gets to make an action on your turn, that would use up their reaction. Do we want that as a cost?
I don't think
here?
it should.
Okay.
Because you're basically giving up an action. So if we're trading out your action for, an ally's
And Ryan, you're just
reaction.
retyping the ideas that we have above you, just as a heads up.
You're actually totally right about that. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Crap. Okay, we're good. Even if I just scrolled up like barely. Perfect. Okay.
OUSAS, I like that idea, but I think that might be a higher level one.
What's the? Wait, let's put it in the list. What's the? Idea?
Just okay. Yeah. So for those listening, in chat, what about converting an ally's bonus action to a full action? I think that could be cool. You might be able to say, because bonus action, you get as many bonus actions as you need within reason. So really, what we're talking about there is you give up an action, and on the ally's turn, they get to take an extra full action.
So sort of a step up from the first one we have.
Well, the question is that significantly different from you get to make an attack?
Yeah, on another person's turn.
Because the only difference here is on my turn, I'm picking the type of action that you can take. A move, an attack, something like that.
If it allows the use of higher level spells, then that's the only difference to me.
That is a difference, yes.
And I think that should be at higher levels.
Yeah,
that would be based on the character. They wouldn't have access to higher level spells until you're all at higher level.
No, but even like a first level spell versus a cantrip is nominally more powerful.
Okay.
But it would still use a slot. Like you'd still have to just have that balancing of.
Correct. Yes.
They still would have their limiting resources.
Yeah. The next suggestion from OUSAS was modify how attack of opportunity works, possibly like on your guard, which depends on how you'd want to modify the attack of opportunity, but I think it's an interesting idea at the least.
Here's an interesting one. What if and this would be complicated, but I think if you limit it to one round, and one person, I think it would work. What if you had one where your ally gets to benefit from a feat that you have as well?
Oh, interesting.
So, for example,
that's good.
Something like the Sentinel feat, which you saw destroy Ryan in the City on a Hill campaign.
Ryan's characters.
No, mostly me.
There was a lot of, I forgot you had that.
Oh, right, that thing you can do repeatedly. Mm-hmm.
But that actually does modify attacks of opportunity. It says when you hit with an attack of opportunity, they stop. And so the idea of, I have a feat that does something interesting, I can now give that to someone else. And maybe you give it up yourself. So it's like,
you would lose the bonus to give it to them.
Maybe, or make it additional. I'm not sure. That's something we need to kind of poke at, right?
And Ryan, do you want me to keep typing ideas above you, or do you want to just put all the ideas there?
Keep typing above me, and I'm moving them down as I go.
Just a constant torrent. Make him try to keep up with you.
Okay. Because we're just gonna have them in two places that are right next to each other.
Yeah, no. I'm putting them back. I'm putting them in an ordered list based on what y'all have up there.
Yeah.
Oh, make them footnotes. That's even better. That way you can eventually take over the whole page.
Yep, that's work.
There's got to be a healing one.
Okay, so he's got that up here called Get Up. So basically, grant them So once per short rest, you got an ally. You can see the ability to
Recover
so-
benefit
equal to one
benefit from
hit
a
dice,
feet that you
or-
know. Or benefit from a feat that you
well,
have.
I'm looking at this one as the healing.
No, we're talking the healing one specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, the healing one.
Yeah.
They get, have them roll a hit die, or hit
I
die
just-
plus your charisma modifier, or something like that. Or
I
just threw
like
into
hit
there
die
the,
Shaw.
The energy pool that Circle of Dream Druid uses.
Yeah, the
Um,
HP pool.
Yeah, so maybe it's it would be kept as a temporary HP, just a morale boost kind of thing.
Should they have another resource to track?
I don't think so. I do like the idea of telling them of like, all right, get up, and they get your Cha bonus plus hit die roll.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think it's super clean, and
I think that's pretty close to the fighter's
It's second wind, yeah.
Second wind.
Yeah, that's
Technically, it's 1d10, but it's because the fighter has 1d10.
Yeah, that's
So,
what Greg and Cameron were referencing earlier. Was that?
Yeah. So I kind of like that.
But I liked it. It's also your charisma modifier, not whatever
gives you
their
that.
bonus is.
And it lets
Sure.
you scale it too as you get more charismatic as a leader. They would
Mhm.
then be
Yeah, there's
more
that little bit
encouraged
of
to-
scaling. Yeah.
Would you get more uses of it the higher level, so you could get more people up?
I
Because
think
So you
definitely-
naturally get that because the thing is, invocations you can use nonstop.
Okay,
Okay, so I maybe
this-
need to remove the once per short rest thing.
that's what I was thinking. The one per short rest.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so there's a couple of them that I think are limited like that, maybe, but most of the time it is the invocations are just
I mean,
you use this over and over.
Yeah,
but you could
like
say
in-
this only works for one ally once per shirt along.
That's a lot of tracking. That's a lot of memory.
I like the idea. I don't like the tracking. I like the idea that you can't just keep like every turn you dump
Well, but here's the
15
thing.
hit points into the fight.
Here's the thing.
They will eventually-
Combat heal. I'll say this: combat healing is bad. Combat healing is statistically not great.
I mean, that's accurate, particularly for lower level characters.
I mean, and if
well-
you're rolling like 1d6 plus 2 for
Yeah,
I suppose
Yeah.
that is
you're
relative.
not you're not rolling high healing.
yeah.
And
So
if they're
if you want
temporary
to
hit points
spend
instead
your
of
time doing that, like if you need that, it's great. Especially if somebody's knocked out, you want to get them back up on their feet. But I don't think letting them do that constantly on as their action is at all bad. In fact, it's kind of weak unless you really need it.
Okay, reasonable.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I had healing spells in the campaign we played as a ranger, and I used it once
Right.
because
I mean,
there's just better things to do.
Yeah.
Listen,
that would be my
okay.
thing is that you can like a cleric can run out of healing spells. So
Yes.
there does need to be some sort of limiter on it.
Well, the thing is, there's plenty of cantrips as well. These are all kind of somewhere in between cantrips and, not.
Okay, so
And remember, these are all actions. The invocations often are tied to other things as well. We're really kind of
yeah,
talking.
like when Croucher casts Eldritch Blast, it's a choice to modify it with an invocation. So when I cast Eldritch Blast, I can push somebody 10 feet with the pushy invocation. I don't remember what it's called because I call it pushy.
Repelling blast.
Repelling Blast. And then there's another one that I have that also modifies Eldritch Blast, where I can basically snipe from like 500 feet away or something like that.
It's extremely long. Yes, it's
Yeah, it just makes the range extremely long. So it is modifying an action that I already can take.
There we go. Eldritch Spear. When you cast
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast, its range is 300 feet,
Okay.
which is
night.
stupidly long.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, there are some of these, like Sign of Ill Omen, 5th level. It requires 5th level. You can cast Bestow Curse once using a Warlock spell slot. You can't do so again until you finish a long rest. The thing is, though, what we're talking about, the Warlock also has spells, and the Warlock also has, their pact benefits and that sort of thing. These need to be a little stronger because this is not going to be a spellcasting class.
Okay.
these are going to kind of have to bridge that gap between martial and spellcasting.
Sure. Okay. And thank you guys for keeping track of these as chat goes, because I'm kind of just moving around as I can. I do like the idea of giving some kind of bonus against attacks of opportunity, because you have better battlefield vision than the average person does.
Yep.
Okay.
Is
Go.
number 5, is that against, so is that attack of opportunities against you as you're moving, or is that attack of opportunities that you get to use?
I think
No,
the
that's
original
that's
thing was
that's
you get
basic.
to use.
Yeah,
The
what
original
that's
thing we
against
discussed.
you. So if I look at Grant's character and say on your guard, he has a bonus against his AC when taking attacks of opportunity until his next turn goes up.
Can we
Because
rephrase that
used
more simply?
Sentinel as the idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sentinel was the
let's.
idea was that you get a bonus the next time you would make an attack.
Yeah, well, I was using the Sentinel as an example of like giving somebody a feat, right?
To your
Oh,
AC.
so maybe
That's what I was
just
doing.
mix those things in the notes.
Okay, hold on. You're making this a little more complicated than it needs to be,
Probably.
Ryan. Target ally or until the start of your next turn. When attacks of opportunity against your chosen ally have disadvantage.
That's better.
So until your next turn,
Yeah.
one ally of your choice gains like
Gaining numbers is much more difficult to track, especially if we're going to talk about scaling to level, which I'm not sure we're going to do for these. But disadvantage and advantage are probably one of the best dang things to be using in this kind of design
Absolutely
situation.
agree.
Because it's not numbers. I hate numbers, and there's so many already. And disadvantage and advantage are two simple words.
Okay,
And
now
I
how
feel like
does-
disadvantage is not used enough.
So how does that play out in not taking attacks of opportunity?
They're harder.
Yeah, it's just more difficult.
So the enemy has disadvantage in trying to hit you.
Here, let me rewrite it here real quick.
Find everything together. Go.
Until your next turn.
Gosh, this has to be what it's like to try and write out the rules text of Magic cards.
Uh-huh.
Except those are even more complicated somehow.
Something layer 14 something.
something we didn't see the combo and it
There we
breaks
go.
the game. Our bad.
That should cover it right there.
Opportunity
Until the start of your
against
next
that
turn,
ally
attacks
have
of opportunity
disadvantage.
against that ally have disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one keeps coming back up, and I like this concept of a learned from previous experience something. How does that play out?
The thing is, I feel like that's just flavor. It's a really strong flavor, but you know,
I like the idea of it being something mechanical in theory.
Like an interrupt.
Wasn't the idea too that this was a higher level one of these commands? Like this wasn't going to be
It could be a high level one. Maybe this could be like
After 10.
once I don't know, like once per
Okay.
long rest or something, where you can just do a thing and then an opponent just like stops their action.
that's
But-
almost certainly going to have a save.
I like that. Yeah,
That's
save
true.
seems appropriate.
Okay, let's.
But here's the other problem I have with that.
Uh-huh.
That's just like, you know, that's hold person.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it's like hold person. Yeah, it's
And
That's
it's also the flavor is off because it's not about your allies.
Like, so I
but
thought the
if we
idea-
are going to eventually in higher levels also affect opponents.
Some of them,
And I
yeah,
thought the,
or you
I
have
thought
a
the
class.
flavor of it too was that it was like an inspiration to your allies where you were reminding them of something.
Yeah, but then that doesn't tie into the whole, you know, the opponent stops their action thing.
Right. I think that came from something else. That was.
I think we're combining two things there to some extent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see that.
Yeah,
now.
that was not what.
Those
before
were
that had been
two-
moved down. That was not. I don't think that was what was there.
Yeah, those were two separate things. There was the concept of we've seen both of those in chat. The concept of stopping an action, which is complicated to some extent. I like it, but it's complicated. And the concept of finding a way to express previously learned experiences.
Yeah, and we've got.
So I'm going to move this one out and move this just back to the general list.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. The list of things that aren't placed yet.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Actually, so here's for the take cover one. What if we make that? Actually, hold on. Here's a higher level one. Here's a higher level idea. What if we say all allies in range, whatever that appropriate range is, get advantage on one particular type of saving throw until the start of your next turn. It requires a certain amount of prediction.
That was going to be my concern with that.
Well, I don't think that's bad, though, because if you say, I'm pretty sure that dragon's going to breathe fire,
we're all going to have to make dexterity saves.
Yeah,
right.
I like the flavor of that.
All right, remind me, because my brain's stuck on fortitude, reflex, and will, and that's not a thing anymore.
You make saves based on all the stats.
Okay.
Each stat has their own save, yes.
So, for example, that's a banshee. Everybody cover your ears, and you get advantage on that charisma save to, save or die. So, basically it's like, I'm pretty sure this is what's coming. Everybody get ready to X.
Okay, so do we want to make one for saving throws and then a separate one for armor class?
Well, okay.
Because it sounds like we're diverging.
The bigger thing here is I think it's okay to have I would actually split take cover up because that's a single ally.
That's the question I'm asking then, yes.
Yeah, because you're giving a single ally a bonus, but that's kind of an easy freebie one. But that's also AC is far and away more common than saving throws. And you're also giving, if you say such and such ally has a bonus to all saves, that's very strong, but you're saying that one specific person. But that can also work with the idea of rallying against an effect, like, you're going to have to save against that petrification effect next turn. I'm going to, boost your morale and tell you, yeah, buddy, you got this.
Yeah, you got this. Don't turn to stone. I believe in you.
Listen, you laugh. Jenny can tell you about that.
I can, because Croucher in this past Saturday did almost turn to stone. The only reason that she didn't is because of Bardic Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very close thing.
It was so Croucher, though. Because
nearly dying is pretty much your thing in general, Jenny, with all of your characters.
Because I don't mind.
No, I
really
love
mind.
it. Listen, a character who actually pushes the boundaries and tries things is amazing. I love it. You guys skipped literally 80% of the dungeon as a result.
That's never a bad thing.
I mean, I'm sure you're going to go poke around in it more, but you've.
Oh yeah, like now that we've gotten rid of the big bad menace, we can take on the little menaces.
Yeah, you got the scariest thing, obviously.
Ryan, you're typing in one place where there's a thing right below you. Like there's a nice chart that you could
do it. Yeah, I keep forgetting that's there.
I have a chart down there.
Either above or below, Ryan. Make up your mind.
Yeah,
no. Welcome to Ryan's writing process.
All right, fine. Nesting tables now.
Also no.
Nesting tables.
Nesting tables. Okay, so
we need to use Excel, and then you create
let's not go there.
A rule for your data validation based on the selection in a previous spot.
I'm disconcerted.
I do this for work.
So 2 notes. One. Prone allies rise to their feet. Oh, that's interesting.
So I was actually looking at that one.
We'll come back to that in just a second. Yeah. I want to take only about 10 or 15 more minutes on this, and then we'll wrap up. So let's look at that one real quick, and then I want to do maybe one more big thing for 5th level, and we'll go from there. I do like Andrew's suggestion. Prone allies rise to their feet on your turn. Is that the one you're looking at, Grant?
Yeah, my thought on that is maybe make it one ally, like, as your action, basically you can end the prone or restrained condition on one opponent or one ally. because prone and restrained they're sort of related. It's the idea of like you've been knocked down or you've been tangled up, right?
Been knocked down.
Shake it off and get back up. But to deal with a lot of the other effects, like petrified or you're dealing with other things, you'd still want to make saves against those. And I think giving them
the opportunity
a
to
save
make a
bonus,
save.
yeah, like that's fun.
Yeah. So how does that work with restrained? Because if it's something like yeah, I was gonna say the ensnaring strike, because there's a save you would make. There's a save you would make, like a strength save for that.
Mm-hmm.
So would you would you just be like, and no? Because
that's
there's like damage associated with it too, unlike prone, which there's not.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Maybe we just limit it to prone. Maybe you do just limit it to prone. Get back up.
Okay, so
then it has to be called tub thumping.
Yes, it's. I'll also accept Chumbawamba.
It's the Taylor Swift Chumbawamba crossover you never knew you didn't want.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure Neil Cicierega has done that at some point. If not, he will.
It's a perfectly good song.
At the same time.
Okay, so we've got that. I actually like having roughly 7 to start with. We can add more later on. Okay, what does level 5 look like? Because I mean, at 5th level, fighters get an extra attack. A lot of classes get an extra attack.
I mean, I think at 5th level,
that's when the like the ranged thing, the 30 foot.
Oh, the tactics thing.
The tactics thing. Thank you. The tactics thing. Maybe that's when that could turn into it also affects enemies.
Okay.
We could do that. Again, I kind of like the idea of that being a subclass personally, where it's like, but along those lines, Jenny, at 5th level,
is this when we start to switch tactics?
Yeah. What if we make it you can switch tactics, maybe as an action?
Mm-hmm.
Also, aura, if the aura grew over time or over level.
That could probably be a later thing, because you're going to wait till you're higher level for that aura to get bigger, because that's when you have these bigger, more complicated fights. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be honest, 30 feet in
6.
30 feet covers a lot.
Yeah, 30 foot radius is 60 foot diameter. Like, that's still massive. I believe, is that bigger than Fireball?
Yeah.
Well, I was
Fireball
40 if it's 30 feet in any direction. That's true.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If you started out with like 15 foot and then at X level you got to 30.
The thing is, 30 feet is kind of a built-in
for
a lot of classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aren't big bonuses to start with.
Yeah.
I think upgrading the bonuses rather than having to keep track every level of how big your aura is it's just simpler. Like I am looking at this whole dang thing from the point of view of somebody who has dyscalculia. Like, I can't look at numbers very well, and having to track that many numbers all at once is super confusing.
Yeah.
This is about the level that I can handle looking at it, and upping every 5 levels or so, like in terms of the bonuses rather than the range of it, is what my dyscalculic brain can handle.
Yeah. And remember, 30 feet is rogue sneak attack. It's bardic inspiration distance. It's kind of just the default range for buffing and fighter stuff. The only one that's different is the Paladin Aura of Protection, which is a 6th level class feature and is really strong, and that's 10 feet.
Okay, so your...
At 18th level, it goes up to 30 feet.
So at 5th level, you switch your tactic using a standard action.
Yeah, and maybe standard action is not... is too high a cost. It could be bonus, but we
bonus.
I like bonus.
Let's go bonus. That's sort of your... I kind of like that, because that sort of is like getting an extra attack. You have that free thing that you do.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That kind of works.
Another option along that lines would be you could, and this doesn't line up with the tactics, but you could, whenever you would take a attack action, you could now also issue a command.
That's a really strong one and would have to come in later, I think.
I do like the idea.
Yeah, I think it reminds me of I don't know if this is a D&D thing. I got it from a MUD that I played, but with certain classes, like a paladin class, you would eventually get combat casting, where you can attack and cast the spell in the same turn.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so maybe
you had to be pretty high level before you could get that.
maybe
Yeah,
seventh
that is
level,
really strong.
7th level, you start to be able to use some of your commands as a bonus action instead of a standard. Or is that going too far?
I think you would
that's
have
too
to
early.
take. I think it would have
11.
to be based on taking a different type of action. Like you could do this. If you did this, then so like for example, Eldritch Knight at level 7 can cast a cantrip and then also still make an attack.
Mhm.
And I would say most cantrips are weaker than the commands.
Agreed.
And so like just as a reference, and then I think it's level 12 that Eldritch Knights. No, it's not. It's higher than that. It's like level 18 that Eldritch Knights can like cast a spell and then make an attack.
Okay, I think our best option is to stop here, actually, because I think we before we delve deeper into something else. I just like the idea of calling it Strat Caller because I've been watching a lot of Valorant lately.
That's fair.
It is what it
It's
is.
level 18. Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop here, and we will give. I will go back to the Hangout. Hi chat. Hey, hi guys. And we will give everybody a chance to plug all of the everything, because I didn't really introduce anybody by saying anything more than their names, and there are folks here who aren't always normally with us, so I want to give them an opportunity to talk about the thing, all the thing. So Grant and Jenny,
Yes.
Saving the Game.
Right. So, Saving the Game is a Christian podcast about tabletop role-playing games and collaborative storytelling. We have been going for 8 years now, over 180 episodes, and we're still going strong. We're having a blast doing it. We're not just about D&D. We try and really kind of stay mostly system agnostic, although that probably varies somewhat
It's
depending
very
on what we're...
difficult to do so because we are currently taking a lot of examples from our ongoing D&D campaigns. So,
Yeah, absolutely. But that's one reason I started playing a Star Wars game based off Impulse Drive. So, it's it all works out. But yeah, we cover theology and how to apply that theology to role-playing games, how to create interesting characters, and how to deal with particular types of genres. We just did an episode on cosmic horror. We recently had W.C. McGuffin, one of the Paranoia game developers, on talking about how to have faith in your games at all. All sorts of interesting stuff like that. And we've been doing it for a while, and we feel like we're pretty good at it at this point. So if you're not listening, we'd invite you to do so. You can do so twitter.com/savingthegame, facebook.com/savingthegame. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, you name it. We're out there. And
stgcast.org for the main website.
yes.
And we also have a Discord server where that you can access through stgcast.org. And we also have a Patreon where you can send us questions that we will answer on air.
That's right. We roll a die because we have a table. You have to. Random table. And roll a die, and whatever question comes up, that's the one we answer. And it's usually great fun. And if anybody in chat hasn't been on and isn't familiar with it, please reach out to us because we're always looking for guests. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you're a podcaster yourself,
Cough, cough,
or
nudge,
anybody
nudge, wink,
on
wink.
this show, seriously.
Cough, nudge, wink. Cough.
Yeah.
And definitely do join the Discord if you're not already,
Yes.
because it's an amazing group of people, absolutely delightful.
Okay. Cameron, tell me about the One Geek.
So I'm from First Geek 411, which is a geek culture podcast. And we live stream our episodes now, starting this past week on twitch.tv/onegeek411. And then we cover basically all sorts of geeky culture stuff. We talk primarily video games, TV, entertainment, a little bit of tech, and then like some sort of tabletop or magic or something like that, those types of things. And then we also do a top 3. We just did our top 3 sitcom duos of all times. And so we also recently added 2 new people to our cast. So that's a ton of fun. We are on all social media as OneGeek411. And then we also have a Discord server that you can find through our website, onegeek411.com.
Daniel or Ben, anything either of you want to tell the fine folks about?
Kind of. I mean, I'm on Twitter at Full Metal Hoyt. I will occasionally stream on Twitch, Full Metal Hoyt.
Magical cards, go fight him.
Yeah, I'll do magic streams on occasion. Kind of random. I don't have a thing set up yet to do it regularly. On Twitter, you can watch me do dumb things like live tweeting old, very bad James Bond films. I just watched Diamonds Are Forever. It's awful.
Yeah, it is.
He did that yesterday.
I did. It was very bad. But other than that, I don't have a podcast other than City on a Hill, which I'm on. I don't have my own podcast yet.
It's inevitable.
I'm contemplating one. Just haven't pulled the trigger on it.
Talk to us. We will give advice.
Yes.
Talk to them. Take the advice. I did it. It's good.
Okay. Well,
Ben.
Yeah.
No, outside of City on the Hill, I am full consumer mode. So, no, I got nothing.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
'Cause
up
you all
until
need
City on the
audience.
Hill, yeah, that's fair. Up until City on the Hill, I was also full consumer mode. Mr. Gregory, also the man who twirls the mustache, as I prefer to call you. Lay it on the fine folks. There it is.
I don't do a lot of other stuff either. You can hear me sometimes on the Nerd of Godcast Daily Devotional, and that's really about it. I'm on Twitter. I don't post a lot, mostly just retweeting other things people tweet. Sometimes I post pictures of my vegetables. And I'll also
That's true.
plug the game Discord. It is a great community.
Agreed. Okay, so...
And my Twitter, though.
yes.
TAOS777.
Yes, and all of the previously mentioned links will be in the show notes. I promise. Hopefully, I'll remember. It'll be fine. I'm fairly certain I'll remember. So yeah,
You have a recording of it, so
that doesn't help. I make no promises to that adding anything to whether or not it's going to happen. There's a disparity there. We're not going to worry about it. So if you enjoyed, you can find us on Twitter at City on a Hill Game, cityonahillgaming.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or here on Twitch now, every so often, twitch.tv/CityOnAHillGaming. If you are listening to the replay of this, you can find me and Cameron. It'll have come out before this does. We were both on the Nerd of Godcast fairly recently, so go check that out. Or the Nerd of Godcast Daily Devo, for which I am also their, as Tony calls me, I am their DM. This case not being Dungeon Master, I am their Devotion Manager, as I run that podcast for them. So yeah. Go check those things out. Link in the description. Shout out to our Patreon subscribers, our Patreon backers, Joanne, Ashley, Tony and the folks of the Nerd Godcast, and Andrew. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all you do to help us out with the show on the financial side. And just everybody that's been retweeting and liking and all the things lately. Thank you. The support is greatly appreciated. Greg, I'm looking directly at your face. Thank you kindly. Same to Cameron. All the retweets, and Daniel, and I think Jenna even still retweets us occasionally. I miss that lady deeply. Hopefully her and her husband will be back on with us shortly. I would like to have Jenna and Jonathan back at some point in the near future if possible. Oh yes, Andrew, and also his lovely wife Christina, both of who also do great things for our podcast. So greatly appreciate you guys. We will be back on Twitch in the future. I totally promise. We'll see if that actually happens. Probably. Every once in a while, I will also stream Magic Arena on here. I don't make promises to frequency. How often I make dumb decks varies and wants to try them out. Daniel can attest to this.
It's usually against me, and it usually goes, well, poorly for me and okay for him.
Reasonable. I did a thing called Teamer Spider Twin recently that just makes literal infinite spiders because I can. It's not great,
But what
but
about
it's
the
funny.
bees?
Yes.
We
Is there a
don't have
card that
Hornet
make
Queen.
bees?
We don't have Hornet Queen on Arena yet.
Is Hornet Queen not on
Need
Arena
Hornet's
yet?
Nest.
Is Hornet's Nest on Arena?
No,
Because I might have to
that
force
combo
something.
would work. The same thing would work.
The same thing would work with Hornet's Nest. Okay, something to force in the future whenever Wizards allows us to.
Wizards, please.
Wizards, please.
Hornets
I need
versus
the bees.
spiders go? No.
Yes.
Definitely not.
That's
is not a
too
thing.
many legs.
So that's 14 legs per 1v1. That's too many legs. Okay. We appreciate you guys
Oh
listening.
man, if we're going to be talking about parasitic wasps,
That's a bad idea. That's
Tarantula hawk. Tarantula hawk.
Jeez. This is what happens. Nope. I love it. It's what we do here, and we've been doing it for a while now, and I'm okay with that. So, all 6 of you, thank you for joining us this evening. I think that
pleasure.
went. I had no
Thank
idea
you
what
for
this was going to
inviting
be.
me.
I had no clue what was going to happen here, but I think it turned out quite nicely. And yes, thank you guys for coming. It is greatly
invite. Of
course.
appreciated.
It was delightful.
We will do this
Yeah,
again in
absolutely.
the future because we can always make more classes. Why not? There's not
Yeah.
enough of those. We got time. Welcome to City on a Hill Gaming, a 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. We hope you enjoy our episode.